Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. And as the fallout from the CDL Kickoff Classic continues, Clayster Envoy are not at all happy with how the CDL handled restrictions this past weekend, what things need to change, what things will change going forward, and will everyone agree on the matter. Very much intriguing your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting that like button is the best thing you can do. Top of the channel, reach new people, please do subscribe as well if you have not yet already. First of all, this from the CDL, of course, this weekend was pretty damn good. 6 more major events of the season, 4 actual majors, 1 Pro-Am Classic with the best 12 pro teams, the best 4 amateur teams, and then of course the World Championship in August, September, whenever it is going to be this time round. Interestingly, of course, especially given today's topic, the next event is going to be Major 1 on March 3rd through the 6th, the Optic Texas LAN at the same stadium we just had that LAN at. So will things change on kind of the precaution side, as Clayster and Envoy certainly wanted to, given the fact that, I'm sure Hex and Astro want the event to be as open as possible. They've waited for this for quite some time, right? Getting the Optic fans back in the venue. So definitely an interesting discussion to be had, whether the precautions for majors should be different to the kickoff event, which of course was less meaningful. So, well, we'll dive into it here in a couple of minutes' time. First of all, wanted to say this from FaZe. Definitely, if you guys have followed Call of Duty for quite some time, you'll know this name when he was a caster way back in the day. Pretty sure he was even like a Game Battles referee before that. He went into casting, then he joined YouTube Gaming, and I guess he was part of the transition when Call of Duty actually came onto YouTube, right, and got that deal underway. So bittersweet, as he says, that he's going to be moving on to explore some like crypto projects. Don't really want to get into the nitty gritty here, but I thought this was kind of surprising because he's definitely been the head guy at YouTube Gaming for quite some time. Interesting that he's going to move on from that role, especially because he follows Call of Duty a lot, right? He's very involved still in the scene, certainly has been in the past, and some people are suggesting this may mean that the move back to Twitch could be slightly closer. Now, I'm not sure that will happen. I'm also not sure that we necessarily want it to happen, right? Because I think there are certainly some positive things about the YouTube deal, but some people have certainly said going back to Twitch would be a wise thing. Microsoft, for example, and Halo, they kind of do both. I'm pretty sure that they don't have an exclusivity deal, even though, of course, the exclusive rights are something which Activision Blizzard get paid a lot for. So obviously they want that. As you can see right here in 2020, 160 mil for Overwatch and Call of Duty for 3 years. So pretty sure this YouTube contract expires next year or at the end of this year or something. Maybe it's at the end of next season, and then we'll be in a situation where it's possible to go back to Twitch, and maybe Fwiz leaving will be a step in that direction, right? As he might not be there, right, to kind of fight for the Call of Duty League over at the YouTube side. Interesting stuff regardless. Let's dive into what Clayster had to say as a result of this event. So really happy I had to attend a meaningless kickoff single elimination event without proper testing and regulations. Pathetic, he says, and the positive test that you can see has come up right here. So this already gets very interesting, right? Because yes, this was I guess a meaningless kickoff single elimination event, but at the same time, it was great to have everyone back in the venue. Now, I mean, still, it is interesting the responses to this, because Simp says in a second here that, this event should actually have been online. And I mean, still, I'm sure the fans kind of disagree with that. From the pros' perspective, I'm sure they want fans to be in the venue, but I guess from their perspective, it doesn't really matter all that much, right? They're just here to compete, win the massive prize fund. But from the CDL side, they certainly want fans to be there. And even as Clay says right here, they pushed for no fans at this past weekend event, but I guess it was rejected. Like, at some point, you've got our fans back in the venue. That's just how it goes. And I guess things are spiking right now around the world, but things are more than likely going to spike every single year around winter time, I suppose. So, it's not really a sustainable solution, really. But as Clayster says, absolute breakdown from the CDL to only require 1 negative test on Thursday for players and have 0 rules for fans, even though we push for no fans, daily testing for players and staff. And of course, there's a ton of positive tests going for this weekend. So brain dead, he says. So basically saying the CDL completely messed up how they handled this. And I don't disagree on that front, right? I think the players are well within their rights to say, hey, CDL, we'd prefer some better precautions here, to protect us, but also everyone else in the venue. And look, if fans are going to go, I think, fans, if they perceive a risk, if they don't perceive a risk, they can go if they want to. If there was champs in London, I'm certainly going to the event. But for the players, I can certainly see their perspective of, okay, look, let's actually make things reasonable here, CDL, especially what Envoy has to say here in a second. I thought it was kind of interesting. I will say, first of all, I made the unfortunate decision of delving into some of the Reddit threads on this. I kind of regret that I did. So hopefully you guys can keep the comment section. I know these things get always heated, but look, if you disagree with someone, feel free to respond, but try and keep things, civil and constructive. That's all I'm going to ask. But yeah, we'll try and keep things kind of surface level. This is Envoy said, right? Not surprised teams are testing positive. Record cases around the world. Why would we risk it for a 30k kickoff event? And on top of that, the CDL is still not doing the minimum of the event to keep the players safe. This is an interesting conversation really from Envoy. Should fans have even been allowed at the event? Should the event have even been on LAN? Look, at some point you've got to go back to doing LAN events. Don't the pros want LANs? It's kind of tough, right? There's always the back and forth here. But the pros, complain about online, and then we're even complaining about LAN now, right? Obviously, it has its downsides and it has the risks associated with it, and the CDL should do their best to protect the players. But I think if fans want to go, and I thought there was some fan separation. What Envoy has to say here in a second, though, is kind kind of the kicker for me, which is, well, staff really working behind the stage, going into the venue or going into the crowd, right, and then coming back in. That kind of stuff, like, well, it's not going to protect the players to as best they possibly could. And as Clayster said as well, there were some things that they were falling short on. But, you know, at some point, you've got to have fans back. You've got to have LAN events back. Like, how long are we going to do this for, right? Where we're playing online. I thought the pros are frustrated about online, right? So we go back to LAN for a nice kickoff to kick things off, right? And if there was no fans there, like, the venue, if it was online as well, the event would be nowhere near as good as it was and kind of as exciting as it was for the start of the year. So I'm sure the CDL want to do their best to have fans there and have everything there. But, you know, the pros are well within their rights to say, hey, things should be done a little bit better here. Because as Simp says as well, kickoff should have been online, period. Hope you feel better, brother. So he reckons, like, straight up just do it online, which I guess is fair enough. But then I'm sure some of these players would have said, oh, you know, stupid online kickoff doesn't matter anyway. Like, we lost first round. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. It's just one of these things, I suppose, that happens. But this I thought was really the kicker to me from Envoy that made me think, okay, yeah, the pros actually do have a point on this one. Let's promote no mask front row at all weekend. Barely 6 feet from our walkout places. Look, the event is lit. I'm watching staff have masks on their chins, talent taking pictures with fans, and seeing them backstage minutes after. So to me, this is kind of the issue, right? Like, I guess the testing thing or whatever Clayster was talking about, that he also probably makes some fair points there. But to me, this is probably the one that says, okay, CDO, you've got to get on top of this, right? Like, to me, the fans can do what they want, right? If the restrictions within the, you know, within the country, like as in the UK, we're pretty much doing no restrictions in a few days. So if you're listening, Call of Duty League, get champs in London. But in some of the US states where the restrictions are more lax, like, I don't think there's anything really wrong with the CDL saying, hey, okay, if fans want to come to this event and follow the rules that are in place locally, then feel free to do that, right? But I think the players, there definitely should be some separation there. As he says, 6 feet away, like, I don't know how much difference that really makes. But if staff that are working with the players behind the scenes go into the actual crowd, right, taking pictures with fans, then coming back in, like, you know, that's obviously not going to end up particularly well, right? And I think the players, you know, definitely have a fair point here saying, look, we need to get on top of this. At the end of the day, I don't think there's anything wrong with having fans in the venue. I think if it's done properly, that's fine. If fans want to come along, like, you know, at the end of the day, we want fans in the venue. We want things to get back to as normal as they possibly can be. But the pros have understandable concerns. So I do think the CDL need to get on top of this. Clayster, of course, has called it pathetic. He's called it brain dead, right? The way that this has been done here. For the pro side, you know, that Clayster was on stage. He wasn't doing the fist bumps with the other teams trying to protect himself. Ends up happening anyway. There is also the other argument, though, that the fact of the matter is, a lot of these pros, like, despite the fact that, okay, yes, there might have been fans and, you know, staff members going into the crowd, coming back, a lot of these pros will probably have just gone on Sunday night to the bar, like at the Hilton bar as it was in Anaheim, hang out with fans, hang out with the other players, had a chat with people. Like, it's not just the staff and the fans and the CDL's responsibility to ensure the players stay safe. Like, it's also the players themselves, because I think that's what happened after stage 5, that everyone was talking about the fact that, okay, yo, these players are going into the fans, right? They're taking pictures with fans, but then all the players anyway were at the bar on Sunday night, and that they could have picked it up there. So I'm not saying Clayster's in that position, but just saying that maybe someone on Clayster's team was in that position, and then Clayster got it as a result. So, like, there's always these things that happen right now. So it's always really tough to say exactly whose fault, I suppose, it is for these issues. Obviously, hope Clayster feels better very soon, and hopefully this doesn't affect future event try, because that was kind of a concern, especially going from stage 5 last year into champs, that, well, if people picked it up at stage 5, they then can't play at champs, right? Hopefully that's not a thing this year, but intrigued to your thoughts down below. As I say, try and keep it civil to some degree. Want to get back to this type of environment. Look, we want fans in the venue. I'm sure the pros want fans in the venue, but, you know, they're just trying to keep themselves safe, and you can understand their perspective for doing so. And as well, Clayster says, kind of thumbs upping this one, right? The whole slasher thumbs up. Well done, CDL, exclamation mark. So yeah, lots of frustrations about the way the CDL handled this one. Wonder what will change going forwards. And I mean, just kind of Clayster says, sure, had fun at the event. We need to do better, tighten things up moving forwards, doing ourselves, our fans, all of our staff a disservice to continue allowing lackadaisical rules. This also, just a couple of things to finish out the video. Simp was discussing yesterday in the LAN environment, things actually felt quite different, because, well, Simp dropped to 0.8, right, in that series he played against Seattle, and that was a big surprise. He would have been pretty good for my fantasy team. But as he says, now the event's over, which subs ran Fabric at the event got absolutely slammed. Now look, I don't really know, I don't really play Vanguard, right, so I don't know exactly what attachments are good, what attachments are bad, but as he says, the difference in bloom I got from online to LAN was absurd. So he reckons that on LAN, like, the bloom he was getting on his weapon, like, his weapon just wasn't shooting as straight as it should have been. Now, as Doug says, pros were running Fabric on their stub over stippled, so it seems like stippled grip versus Fabric. Those are kind of the options, and Sim says, you know, for sure, I just dropped a 0.8 stinker in my singular limb tawny, I'm heated. It only took 4 years for you to drop a 0.8. I'm crying, right? I guess that's probably Sim's, like, worst ever KD performance at an event or something pretty crazy like that. But, I mean, yeah, still, it was one series at the end of the day. But this is what Bance and CleanX have to say, right? Because, I mean, they reckoned the difference was absurd, had to change mid-finals. So it seems like Bance might have been using also what he was using online, which might have been the Fabric, but then on LAN, it's actually better to use the stippled. So who knows what's happening here, right? But as CleanX says, you got to start listening to me now. What? Like, clearly the stipple's been better all this time. I told told Ben Stipple this better also. Fabric was the wave online, and I'll stick with that. We're onliners. So this does raise quite an interesting question. That when we go to online, right, for the qualification matches before the next major, like, are they going to use different stuff online, right? Are they going to use the Fabric if online, and then they get back to land and use the Stipples? Like, I don't even know how that would make a difference. But, you know, sometimes Vanguard and Call of Duty in general just never really ceases to amaze. And just to finish out with this from the Optic side, 1v1 time, your birth map is who you're up against. Are you taking the W or not? So, well, I'm born in May, so I'm playing Formal. Like, I'm not really sure I could take Formal. It'd be a pretty tough 1v1. I wouldn't want to be born in October, right, playing Karma. Like, that's probably a guaranteed L. And Illy as well would be a pretty tough one. Formal's definitely a difficult 1v1 gunfight. But you remember Formal versus Assault's Black Ops 3 champs. Like, you know, maybe there's a chance there. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hitting the like button tells the YouTube gods this is a good video. I just like you should see it as well. And help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thanks for watching as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.
Being in a nuisance inside church, and here comes the glide. Scumpy calling it in. Drazah.
Like, what was that?
All right.
What? Did he finesse the close corner or something? Is that, like, possible?
Scumpy calling it in.
Like, if Seth goes to the right here, and Drazah goes close left under this thing, does that not kill him? Maybe that's why. Black eats it. Oh. What? That's whack. It can soak a glide bomb? You just see the missile coming out of the sky? Black can protect you from this? Dude, this game's garbage. Game's just straight up garbage.